Okay, so today, let me get my roller. All right, so today we are going to use our rollers a bit more. Have we all got them by? Yes, we have, perfect. And we're going to do a bit more yoga-y stuff. So it's a bit more stretchy and a bit more yoga-y. So we're going to start on the roller. So because we've just kind of got out of bed, some of us, we're going to just take it easy. So bend your knees so that it's not too much load on your back. And we're just going to rest the roller against the bottom ribs and just extend the body over it. Just extend it over and go as far as is comfortable. Ideally, you're taking your head on the ground, but don't go that far if it feels bad. Then you sit yourself back up a little bit and roll the roller towards the head a few inches. So you just extend again over the roller and then lift yourself back up and then move your bum away from the roller and then extend again. So we're just getting used to curling that way. Relax the shoulders while we're down, relax that neck. If you need to support your head, you can. Pull the bum away from the roller, so the roller's coming up towards my shoulders, and then I roll over again. So you might hear some cricks and things. I am holding my head, and then I'm moving the roller a little bit more. And extend again over it. And then move down a little bit more and extend over it again. Good, so now it should be up nearish your neck. So lift your head up and move yourself down so that it's up towards the head end. And then we can just lift the bum off the ground and slowly roll it back down the length of the ribs. Or you can extend it back down, it's up to you. Holding onto the head, pushing the bum on the floor and letting yourself just roll up and down. So go the whole length of your back. All the way up, but the whole length of your thoracic spine. So the whole length of the rib cage area. Don't go into the lumbar spine in this kind of rolling. It's a bit too much load on it. So the goal of this is not particularly to massage the muscles, but to open up the chest and let the body curve the opposite way to how you're spending most of life. So all the way up and all the way down. Okay, now we're going to tilt slightly onto the left. We're going to go on the ribs. Now, if that's hard on your ribs, put your elbow on the floor a bit and bend your knees up so that you take more of your body weight. So you go all the way down to the bottom ribs, and it might feel a little bit tender, and trying to lower the head back as you can. So that you're extending, especially as you go over your shoulders, get your head to go back, because that is the bit that, the shoulder area is the bit that rounds forward for most people. And then we're going to go, keep rolling over a little bit more onto your side until you end up totally on one side. And I can put my hand on the floor and bend my knees up if my body weight is too much and it's uncomfortable, or if I'm too tender. So I can take some weight off and rest my bum on the floor, and then I go all the way up and down the side. Now just make sure, if it's definitely uncomfortable in some places, make sure that your underwear or your shirt sleeves and things aren't causing a lump, which will obviously create a pressure point. All the way up, all the way down. And when you get on your side and you have some slightly tender points, just stop and roll backwards and forwards. Just rock backwards and forwards in those areas as if you were having a massage and they're sticking their thumbs into those knots. So quite often around the shoulder blade. Just rocking backwards and forwards. And then go through your armpit, keep the roller moving. And then just drop your bum on the ground and start to go back. So that we take 2 or 3 rolls and we end up back on our back again. We can go all the way up and down the length of the back. I'm taking hold of my head, supporting it, but trying to let it drop to the floor. all the way down and all the way up. All the way down and all the way up. And then we're going to gradually roll over onto the right hand side. So going the full length, all the way up and down. So a couple of rolls over that right shoulder. And then come over a bit more onto the side. And take that right arm, if you can, straight up so it's kind of level with your ear. And a sort of extension of the spine direction. And then all the way up and down through your armpit. And just rocking backwards and forwards over any lumpy, knotty, tight bits. Good. Okay, and then rolling back on towards the back. And then all the way up and down, resting that head and neck. Okay, put your bum on the floor, lift yourself up, and we're going to push ourselves up and sit on the roller. So put your hands on the floor behind and just turning slightly onto the left and rolling in the fleshy part of my bum. And I'm just going to rock backwards and forwards, as in rolling towards the camera and away from the camera as I roll up and down on it. So I get, again, any pressure points in the bum. Now we haven't been using a tennis ball, but we could in the glutes here. Roll those shoulders back and down, try not to hunch them up too much while you're doing this. And then lengthen that leg out straight, put the elbow on the floor behind, and take yourself into your hip here. So take yourself into that hip area. Rocking forwards and backwards. And then we can roll all the way over onto the front of the hip in that area, staying just in the hip area. And then we can go all the way onto our front, rolling up and down through that hip area, turning onto the right hand side. And rolling onto the side and into the right hand hip area. You might realise that one side is different to the other. If you want to make it a bit harder, you can lift that left leg off the ground. If you want to make it harder still, you can lift your right foot off the ground. So you have more body weight going into the roller, and then rolling over onto the back of the hip. You might find this area here, that kind of love handle area, refers down into your leg, down into the top of the back of the leg. So that's the sort of sciatic area where the muscles get tight and the sciatic nerve is going through. So it's referring into that, into the top of that leg. Good, and then sitting up and rolling into your bum on the right hand side. Okay, and I'm just tipping forwards and back as in away from the camera and towards while I'm rolling in that bum area. Okay, push the roller down to the thighs, and we're going to do the length of the back of our legs. Now again, if you don't really feel that, you can cross one leg over the other, and you can roll, turn your feet outwards so you go a bit on the outside of the leg, and then roll your feet inwards so you go a bit on the inside. And rocking forwards and back. Pop that right foot on the floor and turning onto the side of the outside of my left leg. And I'm going to turn the body over as I do this. So we're going up and down the iliotibial band. So you want to keep the roller moving on the iliotibial band, which is the outside of the leg, because it's not very fleshy. It's quite sinewy. We don't want to push hard in any one particular spot, otherwise we get that kind of dead leg thing that you could have had when someone kneed you in the leg when you were a kid. Now rolling over onto the front of that leg, and I want you to go from the top of the kneecap all the way into that hip.